In the world of military strategy, some weapons are so powerful they define an era. They are spoken about in serious tones, their names becoming shorthand for immense, nation-ending force. Today, we're talking about one of those weapons. Russia has a new missile in its arsenal called the Rs-28 Sarmat. In the West, it picked up a more dramatic nickname, the Satan II. That name is actually a holdover from the Soviet-era missile it's replacing, but it gives you a sense of how it's perceived. This missile can reportedly carry around 10 nuclear warheads, with some Russian sources claiming up to 15. During its final descent, its warheads can travel at over 20 times the speed of sound and can be launched to strike almost any point on the globe. Military analysts and Russian state media claim it's designed to be unstoppable, able to render any missile defense system useless. But what if the key to countering this weapon isn't a futuristic shield or a space laser? What if the real strategy is a high-stakes game of psychology and deterrence that's been played for decades? The answer is far more complex and, in many ways, more unsettling than a simple tech arms race. To understand the strategy, we first have to grasp the problem. The Rs-28 Sarmat is a massive, liquid-fueled intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, designed to sit in a hardened underground silo, ready to launch. Its job is to replace Russia's formidable Soviet-era missiles, making sure the country's land-based nuclear deterrent remains a credible threat for decades to come. Everything about the Sarmat is designed for overwhelming power. It weighs over 200 tons and has a colossal 10-ton payload capacity. Its stated range is up to 18,000 kilometers, more than enough to reach any target in the United States or Europe. But it's not just about distance. The Sarmat is supposedly engineered to fly unusual routes, including a trajectory over the South Pole. This is a direct challenge to existing U.S. missile defense radars, which are primarily aimed northward to detect threats coming over the shorter polar route. It's a weapon designed not just to hit a target, but to strategically outmaneuver the very systems built to stop it. The term unstoppable gets thrown around a lot, but with the Sarmat, it's based on some terrifying physics. The challenge isn't just stopping one missile, it's about trying to defeat a whole suite of technologies designed to guarantee that the warheads get through. First, you have MIRVs, which stands for Multiple Independently Targetable Reentry Vehicles. Think of a basic ICBM as a single bullet. A missile defense system has one object to track. The Sarmat is more like a shotgun. It can release a cloud of 10 or more separate nuclear warheads in space. Each one can be aimed at a different target, so a single launch can threaten multiple cities at once. But it gets more complex. Along with those warheads, the Sarmat can deploy decoys and countermeasures. These could be simple inflatable balloons that look like warheads on radar or sophisticated jammers designed to blind interceptors. A defense system is suddenly faced with dozens of objects, forced to figure out which are real and which are fake in just seconds. Then there's the technology of hypersonic glide vehicles, or HGVs, like Russia's Avangard system, which the Sarmat is designed to carry. Unlike a traditional warhead that follows a predictable arc, an HGV is released from the missile and then skips along the upper atmosphere at extreme speeds, reportedly over Mach 20. It can perform sharp, unpredictable maneuvers, making its flight path incredibly difficult for current defense systems to calculate and intercept. Finally, there's the theoretical idea of a fractional orbital bombardment system, or FOBS. This Cold War concept involves launching a weapon into a low Earth orbit, which allows it to approach a target from any direction with very little warning. While placing nuclear weapons in orbit is banned by the Outer Space Treaty, a FOBS is designed to complete only a fraction of an orbit, a loophole that some argue makes it technically legal. When you combine all these claimed features, a southern polar trajectory, MIRVs, decoys, and hypersonic gliders, the defensive challenge becomes immense. No missile defense system in the world is designed to handle a large, sophisticated attack from a country like Russia. They're built to handle limited threats, like a few missiles from a smaller state. So, if you can't physically shoot down the Sarmat with any real certainty, how do you stop it from ever being launched? The answer is a concept that has kept a tense peace for over 70 years, strategic deterrence. The core idea is brutally simple: mutually assured destruction, or MAD. The only real counter to a doomsday weapon is to make absolutely sure that using it would result in the complete destruction of the country that fired it. This isn't about building a better shield, it's about guaranteeing an inescapable and devastating counterattack. To make that threat believable, a nation needs a survivable second strike capability. This means having enough nuclear forces to survive a surprise attack and still launch a catastrophic retaliation. This is why the US maintains a nuclear triad. The triad has three pillars: land-based ICBMs in silos, long-range strategic bombers, and, most importantly, nuclear-powered ballistic missile submarines, or SSBNs. These submarines are the ultimate insurance policy. They patrol the oceans in total secrecy, their locations unknown. An attacker can never be sure they've found and destroyed all of them, which means retaliation is always guaranteed. As long as those subs are at sea, a successful first strike is nearly impossible. Just as critical are the command and control systems, known as NC3, that ensure a nation's leaders can communicate with and command their nuclear forces, even during an attack. A strong NC3 system sends a clear message: an attack won't paralyze us, and you will not escape the consequences. The ultimate defense against the Sarmat, then, isn't another weapon. It's the absolute certainty in an adversary's mind that launching it would be an act of national suicide. Beyond the raw military threat of deterrence, the strategy to counter the Sarmat moves into the world of policy, diplomacy, and even industrial disruption. This is the chess game that unfolds away from the headlines. For decades, arms control treaties were a key part of managing nuclear risk. Agreements like the New START Treaty put verifiable limits on the number of deployed US and Russian nuclear warheads and launchers. This created transparency and predictability, heading off a runaway arms race. While Russia suspended its participation in New START in early 2023, the need for a similar framework is more critical than ever to reduce the risk of a disastrous miscalculation. This is also where missile defense plays its real, practical role. Instead of a futile attempt to build a shield against Russia's entire arsenal, the US maintains a limited missile defense system. Its stated purpose is to defend against smaller threats, not a full-scale peer-level attack. This approach is intended to avoid provoking the very kind of offense-defense arms race that a weapon like Sarmat is built to win. In the 21st century, a new front has opened up, left of launch. This strategy is all about disrupting a missile before it can ever leave the ground. It can involve anything from cyber attacks on command networks to sanctions and export controls that choke off the supply of critical high-tech components needed to build and maintain these weapons. This brings us to a crucial point, separating the Sarmat's hype from its reality. While the missile's design is formidable on paper, its development has been riddled with problems. The program has faced major delays, reportedly due to technical issues and supply chain disruptions, including the loss of access to Ukrainian rocket expertise that was vital for older Soviet missiles. There has been only one fully successful public flight test, back in April 2022. Since then, there have been reports of multiple subsequent test failures. One reported incident in September 2024 was a catastrophic explosion that appeared to destroy a launch silo at the Plesetsk Cosmodrome, based on satellite imagery. Despite Russia's claims that the missile is on combat duty, analysts believe its actual deployment is likely very limited and far behind schedule. This highlights the dual nature of the weapon. It's both a piece of military hardware and a powerful tool of political propaganda. The unstoppable narrative is meant to project strength, create fear, and give Moscow political leverage. Western policymakers have to plan for the weapon's advertised capabilities, but they also have to avoid overreacting to the hype. The gap between a missile on a parade ground and a reliable, fully operational fleet can be enormous. So, can we counter Russia's Doomsday Missile? Yes, but not in the way you might imagine. The real counter to the RS-28 Sarmat isn't a single piece of technology or a silver bullet interceptor. It's a layered, complex strategy that's been refined over generations. It's the unwavering credibility of a nuclear deterrent that promises unacceptable retaliation. It's a pragmatic approach to missile defense that prioritizes stability over a futile quest for total invulnerability. It's the patient work of diplomacy aimed at reducing the risk of miscalculation. And it's the modern reality of using economic and industrial pressure to disrupt an adversary's military ambitions. The threat from a weapon like the Sarmat is real. But it exists inside a strategic framework designed to ensure such weapons are never used. The ultimate defense against a doomsday machine isn't another machine. It's the cold, hard calculus of human strategy, where the goal is to make sure the game is never played at all. What are your thoughts on this strategic chess game? Is deterrence still enough in the 21st century? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this analysis valuable, be sure to subscribe and hit the like button to help us create more content like this.